Vice President urges labor unions to adopt an investor-friendly approach to help boost Nigeria's economy. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited assures of stability in price of cooking gas. Beyond borders, federal government facilitates employment for 39 artisans to Belarus. Hello and many thanks for joining us on the News Desk at 3 at 6 on NTN 24. I am Mina Daniels. President Bola Tinubu says his administration established the 200 billion naira intervention fund to support micro, small and medium enterprises and manufacturers to assist them in boosting competitiveness and addressing structural challenges. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the president stated this when he declared open the 31st Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
This is the 31st National Economic Summit holding in Abuja with the theme, The Reform Imperative, Building a Prosperous and Inclusive Nigeria by 2030. Leveraging technology to drive labor and to unlock full potentials of Nigerians.
As experts in the economy, you know more than the average citizen that the stability in our foreign exchange market is not accidental. It reflects deliberate choices guided by the same economic logic and wisdom that gatherings such as these embody. Along with subsidy removal, these decisions have rescued our public finances, stabilized the economy, and reassured investors at home and abroad. We owe this progress to the sacrifices of Nigerians, whose patience and understanding have been the bedrock of our endurance. To them, I say, the better days we promise are already within sight.
Nigeria's economic reforms are already visible, and Vice President Kashim Shettima said the summit is another platform to expedite action in driving the government's desire in actualizing transformative results.
There is obviously the need for us to also then add local production or significant growth in local production. But the other things that government need to look at, and they're looking at them now, which is good, are levies and the way customs operate. Because those are bottlenecks even today to anyone who wants to do any export. The processes and the procedures that you have to go through.
In areas of trade facilitation through the traditional routes on land and sea, we've worked significantly on a national single window that will be coming live in Q1. And what this means is taking from paper, from policy, into working with human beings to make sure that we give life to the AFCFTA and we really help to tackle those problems.
The investments needed are massive, and to be able to achieve anything like the targets of a $1 trillion economy, really bold action will be needed here, and probably starting on two fronts. One is even more actions on public revenue mobilization.
So it's very important, of course, to keep on insisting on reform that we've heard this morning on modernizing ports and internet connectivity, on establishing a single national window, modernizing custom, creating a digital one-stop shop, upgrading logistics services and warehousing, for instance, for cold chain, bonded warehouses, and prioritize deliverable reforms that directly increase exports, focusing on sectors where Nigeria has a comparative advantage.
And these stakeholders believe Nigeria's success depends on aligning key priorities by driving industrialization-led growth, building infrastructure for competitiveness, advancing inclusion for shared growth, strengthening institutions for sustainable impact, and unlocking investment amid global trade shifts. In Abuja, Brahman Jibrila, NTA News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has described the slight increase in the price of cooking gas as momentary, assuring that the price will soon return to normal, all things being equal. The Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPCL, Bashiru Ojulari, gave the assurance while speaking to State House correspondent Musbau Danwehab after an audience with President Bola Tinubu in Lagos. The GCEL updated President Tinubu on progress being made by the company in terms of oil production performance.
Making good progress. As you know, we recorded about 1.68 a million barrels per day of oil production last month, which was very good. That was the first in about 5 years in terms of milestones. We also recorded the highest gas production at about above 7 BCF per day again, which is also the highest in recent times. But what we're also expecting is that with some of the turnaround maintenances that we've done in the month of August and September, all of those are meant to come back this month, and we are hoping that before the end of the year, we should at least be clocking at least 1.8 million barrels per day, all things being equal.
He also spoke on the federal government's efforts, which resolved the tussle between the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSN, and the Dangote Petroleum Refinery that earlier affected oil production and distribution, as well as electricity.
So since then, we've been able to return quite a number of the production back to status quo. There are 1 or 2 areas where we're still trying to catch up, but overall, we are gradually gone back to restore the lost production and the deferments that we have as of today.
Nigeria has experienced a bit of increase in gas price. How about that? How is that been addressed?
Yeah, so the increase you saw was relatively artificial because, you know, for the period of the strike, what that meant was that quite movements and loading were delayed by about 2-3 days, right? And because of that, you see that impact. As things return back to normal, it takes some time for distribution to be fully restored. So that delay, and of course, as you know, with Nigerians, people take opportunity. With that delay, some of the people that have existing resources and reserves had to put up the price. My expectation is that now that things are back to normal, prices should return back to what they were before the strike.
The National Assembly has been asked to consider stripping the executive of the powers to appoint the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in the ongoing constitution amendment process. This was one of the several proposals when the House Committee on Constitution Review held a consultation with leaders of Nigeria's 19 political parties in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Mitai Rekben has details.
The process to amend the 1999 Constitution continues, with the National Assembly expanding its scope of consultations to include the national chairman and leaders of political parties. The Constitution Review bills cut across judicial and electoral reforms, gender inclusion, state police, and local government autonomy. And the leadership of the National Assembly believes the input of political parties are critical.
Is our Constitution still fit for purpose? Does it reflect the Nigeria we are today, or is it anchored to the Nigeria of a bygone era?
Security too must evolve. It must be local before it can be national. A nation as vast as ours cannot be protected from a single command post. The call for state policing is not a rebellion. It is realism.
The special seat bills represents a bold step towards correcting historic imbalances.
Constitution amendment proposals submitted by the Inter-Party Advisory Council include establishment of an Electoral Offences Commission to try electoral offenders, scrapping of all state independent electoral commissions to allow INEC conduct local government elections, and establishment of an independent appointment committee to select the electoral umpire.
For INEC to be independent, to be free from whatever influence, then to be able to give Nigerians free, fair and credible election, there's necessity that the person who is going to conduct the election must definitely be somebody who is not under the influence of the president.
Everyone needs to be carried along and their views need to be sought so that we can have an inclusive constitutional amendment.
Expectations are high that this constitution review consultation will transcend party lines to reflect the wishes and aspirations of Nigerians. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikpen, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the two chambers of the National Assembly are set to resume plenary on Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, after extending a 2-month annual process by 2 weeks. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikpen reports that the Senate and House of Representatives will be looking forward to receiving the 2026 appropriation bill from the executive arm of government. Details in our subsequent bulletins. The federal government is expanding job opportunities for young Nigerians beyond the country's borders. In the latest phase of its international job placement program, 39 artisans from Benue State have departed for the Republic of Belarus. Joseph Otsen reports that the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Nkiruka Onyejocha, urged the beneficiaries to be worthy ambassadors of Nigeria.
Thank you. These are artisans drawn from different skill areas who work tirelessly each day to earn a living.
But this is just the beginning.
Now their dedication is opening new doors as industrial jobs await them in the Republic of Belarus.
Proving that Nigerian talent is not only capable, but globally competitive.
In 2019, the federal government, through the National Directorate of Employment, signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of Belarus. The agreement focuses on skill transfer and workforce development to boost employment and economic growth in both countries.
Beneficiaries will be contributing about 300,000 naira every month towards their families. That will go greatly into, the development of that local economy wherever they are. And they will be contributing, slightly more than that, a revolving account that will be set up by the Benue State government so that other Benue indigents will also benefit in the future.
Director General of the NDE, Silas Agara, says all states and the FCT were invited to participate, but Benue State was the first to meet the sponsorship requirement.
Decent Nigerians no longer need to undertake the dangerous journey across the Sahara Desert. All they need now are skills, competency, and of course, the support of any subnational government.
The program has created a platform for our youth and professionals to gain global exposure.
Some people were even selected in the IDP camp.
The artisans are expected to work in Belarus for an initial period of up to 10 years, renewable annually based on performance. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
An advocacy group in the Niger Delta region says the presidential amnesty program has successfully shifted from conflict resolution to a sustainable model of reintegration and development under Administrator Dr. Denis Otuaro as a result of his transformative leadership in the Niger Delta. Under Dr. Denis Otuaro's leadership, the presidential amnesty program had empowered more than 160 ex-agitators in 2025 alone through global education and skills training in fields such as AI, cybersecurity and renewable energy and data, marine and others. A statement by National Publicity Secretary of the group, Efekpai John, is urging the federal government to honor the administrator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Dr. Denis Otuaro, currently by equipping former agitators with globally relevant skills and economic opportunities. The program has promoted sustained peace, improved oil production, and contributed to increased federal revenue and national stability. This is the news desk at 6 on NTNS 24. There'll be more stories when we return.
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African Road.
This is NTA News 24.
Welcome back. In a major step towards improving child health in Nigeria, the federal government has officially introduced the measles rubella vaccine into the country's routine immunization schedule. The rollout marks the launch of a landmark immunization initiative under the renewed health agenda aimed at protecting millions of children from preventable diseases. The campaign is Nigeria's largest ever integrated vaccination drive, targeting over 100 million children between the ages of 9 months and 14 years. Alongside the measles rubella mista vaccine, children will also receive vaccines for human papilloma virus, HPV, which protects against cervical cancer, polio, and other routine immunizations. Speaking at the flag-off, First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu described the initiative as a solution, a pathway to hope, and a promise of progress, ensuring that Nigerian children are protected against two deadly diseases and given the opportunity for a healthier future.
Though often silent, is equally harmful. When it infects the pregnant woman, the unborn child may likely be born with blindness, deafness, or serious heart defects. The consequences are profound. Families are devastated, communities are weakened, and the nation suffers. Every child lost is a dream cut short. Every disability causes a future dimmed. We cannot allow this devastating trend to continue. That is why we are here today, to flag off a solution, a pathway to hope and promise of progress. With this vaccine, our children will be protected against two deadly diseases and enjoy a lifetime of safety and protection.
The children that we vaccinate, the families that we reach, and the trust that we build in our country are what will help deliver the renewed hope promise to our fellow Nigerians and define the legacy, the health legacy of an entire generation. I urge all state governments to take this on, to demand accountability, to advocate, and to ensure that we reach the goals of reaching more than 100 million children.
Measles is a highly contagious viral disease that causes fever, rash, cough, and red eyes. Without timely vaccination, it can lead to serious life-threatening complications. The Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development is set to host Nigeria's first ever International Air Show. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, announced this at a media briefing in Abuja. Dennis Atengaloye reports.
The showpiece event, scheduled to hold in early December this year, is a partnership with the Nigerian Air Force. Describing air shows as important spectacles across the aviation world, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Khan, says the upcoming air show will be attended by President Bola Tinubu and other eminent personalities from within and outside Nigeria. It will provide an opportunity for Nigeria to showcase her military prowess to the international community and highlight the benefits open to Nigeria's aviation market. There will also be the opportunity for domestic airlines to sign deals with international airlines. Free train services are also expected to be provided to the venue for maximum attendance.
To take you and bring you back. But for those that have to go with their cars, proper arrangement is made within the General Aviation Terminal area of Abuja Airport, where you can park your vehicles. Security equally is put in top gear, especially the fact that international organizations will be there. Therefore, security is something that we're taking very, very seriously.
Tabling other priorities, the Permanent Secretary says transparency and accessibility will also be enhanced as the ministry will be fully digitized by the end of the year.
There will be more accountability in the system, and that is what the President actually wants from all of us.
Staff training and welfare, he says, will also be a major focus to maximize output. In Abuja, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
There's a fresh wind of confidence blowing through Nigeria's economy, and the central bank says it's no coincidence. As its special day celebration during the 20th Abuja International Trade Fair, the Apex Bank announced that foreign reserves have surged beyond $42 billion, crediting ongoing monetary reforms for restoring stability and trust in the nation's financial system. Musa Abubakar reports.
It was more than just a special day. It was a showcase of transformation as the Central Bank of Nigeria took spotlight at the 20th Abuja International Trade Fair. Amidst the buzz of commerce and innovation, the Apex Bank used the moment to bridge policy with the people, bringing its reforms from the pages of reports to the reality of business owners and everyday Nigerians.
The management of the Central Bank of Nigeria, under the leadership of Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, is dedicated to addressing identified challenges of the Nigerian economy to boost productivity and strengthen the local economy against any adverse external shocks.
The Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry stands ready to partner with the bank in policy advocacy, financial literacy, and sectoral linkages.
Through initiatives like the Open Banking Framework, the rise of contactless payments, and deepening fintech innovation, the CBN is charting a future where finance is inclusive, efficient, and transparent. In Abuja, Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTNS 24. Here now is a recap of our top stories. Vice President urges labor unions to adopt an investor-friendly approach to help boost Nigeria's economy. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited assures of stability in price of cooking gas. Borders, federal government facilitates employment for 39 artisans to Belarus.
This is NTA News 24.
Guests and good morning, Nigeria want escalation of spotlight on building robust support systems for Nigeria's teaching profession to meet 21st century demands. This, they noted, will help educators face evolving challenges from digital literacy to inclusive classrooms. Lydia Sampson reports.
Strengthening teachers' welfare, providing continuous professional development, and integrating modern technology, the guests insist is crucial. They want government and stakeholders to collaborate on enhanced training, infrastructure, and motivation, ensuring teachers are empowered to inspire the next generation.
Library in the local school, a live school library that I was able to see an encyclopedia. I opened it and I saw Clinton and I read, and the root came from America. You see, these are the things, but are we having those facilities in our schools today? The attraction that we can make, the conducive environment for teachers to deliver optimally their best.
Looking on how teachers can collaborate more, because in every school there are teachers with strengths and there are teachers that are weak. But if we can all collaborate together, we can plan lessons together, we can do a lot of things, because we've got some cream teachers in our schools, in our public schools, in our private schools that are underutilized. And how can we bring them together?
Pupil per teacher ratio is one of actually one of the things that keeps coming up. Yeah, that some states have done well in terms of teacher recruitment does not mean that we have a good percentage of states doing that. The other thing is for the person in SUBEB to be able to stand on his or her ground. I'm not quite sure who the SUBEB chair is. There's a likelihood the person is qualified. Maybe the person has gone to school and the person is not afraid of losing the job and they can pick up somewhere.
As Nigeria embraces global education trends, the guests acknowledge supporting teachers solidifies the foundation for national growth and innovation. For the guests, the clarion call is to motivate teachers for optimum performance and prioritize education for a brighter future. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTNS 24. Many thanks for watching. I am Mina Daniels.
Never stops. So here we go with the flurry of exciting activities across the various sectors, from the release of Davido's music video featuring Omale to the announcement of the forthcoming Vivi Naija 2024 reunion.
I'm taking him out of this place.
It's a wrap on this week's episode of the show. Let's do this again next week.